A wave of anti-LGBTQ bills has been introduced in Republican-led states, spreading fear among those in the community, including drag performers.
NBC News correspondent Antonia Hylton spoke to performers in Tennessee, where a statewide ban on drag shows was passed in March. Here's just some of what she discussed for the season premiere of Meet the Press Reports.
As a transgender woman raised in Tennessee, she spent years hiding who she was. It wasn't until she turned 18 and stepped out onto her first drag show stage that she realized it didn't have to be that way.
And I didn't have the words for it. It was one of the few times I felt powerful, I felt seen, I felt right in my skin. I can do anything I need to do when I'm in drag.
Wait, are all the children out of the building? Are there any children? Look around. If you're a child, raise your hand. Not emotionally, I mean like legally.
For Story and her friend who performs under the name Harry Scary, it's begun to feel like their very existence is a political act.
The agenda is to just exist and to feel valid.
The agenda is to be able to go to the bathroom without having to worry about being punched in the face.
State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, a Republican from Franklin, Tennessee, sponsored the new restrictive legislation. The law targets adult-oriented performances that are harmful to minors. It doesn't say exactly how performances will be determined to be harmful or sexual. Have you been to drag shows?
Have not. But I've seen videos. I've seen videos of drag. Well, and I guess I should say, have I been to places where a man was dressed as a woman and performing or singing, and maybe they were dressed, it was a Halloween party and they were dressed up as Dolly Parton? Of course I have.
Are you trying to send a signal?
Of course
that
not.
Some types of communities, some types of people aren't welcome here in Tennessee?
The only signal I'm trying to send is that you shouldn't be doing sexually graphic, you shouldn't be simulating sex acts in front of children.
And NBC's Antonia Hylton joins us now with a closer look at her reports. So walk us through, because I think there's still some confusion over these bills and the impact they're having, especially in Tennessee right now, which is sort of the first, and others are looking at this, right?
That's right. So this is the first law that's been passed of its kind, but it might not be the only. In about 17 states, very similar bills are under consideration right now. And they're a little bit different, but what they mostly look like are restrictions on drag performances and trying to keep these performances away from children in public or anywhere a child might see them. And that's part of what's fostered this confusion. That means if you're on the rooftop of an adult venue, but a child might be able to see you from another building, that could cause a challenge for the business that you run, for the performance that you're hosting. That means that events like festivals, parades that LGBTQ people might want to attend, if children happen to be nearby, that could put these performers in legal jeopardy. And so that's part of what has caused so much fear. And so this bill is actually right now under a temporary restraining order due to the actions of a Trump-appointed judge just a couple weeks ago. But we'll find out soon in a few weeks, is this law going to be moving forward? Will it be implemented in the state? Or are performers going to have to go to trial to defend their art form?
Are you finding that they're already making changes, like, for example, I'm not going to perform unless there's security?
Absolutely. We are hearing that every single day from performers right now, that on an individual level, they're changing their routines, frightened that people will take a video of them, post it on social media, and that their lives will be threatened. They're hiring private security to work with them or with the venues and the businesses that they are attached to. And many of these organizations, they don't have a whole lot of money. This is extremely costly for them. So there are also some performers who are simply taking a step back from their work right now and not sure, what their connection to the drag community might look like going forward.
You also spoke with some leaders of drag story hours. This is when drag queens read for kids in local libraries. What did you hear from them, and how worried are some of them about their safety and security?
They're very, very worried, Joe. And that's because Drag Story Hour has really been at the center of a lot of the extremist response. We have seen Nazis, we have seen extremist organizations like the Proud Boys go to story reading hours and intimidate many of the performers. In fact, as part of the extended version of this story, we sit down with a performer who had Proud Boys storm their reading in front of children. And so they are forming security and volunteer groups. They're getting trained on CPR, gunshot wound response. And so that is the level of seriousness here, that people are really reevaluating performances, events at libraries that used to be, pretty simple and straightforward. There is now a lot of work and security steps that performers are taking before they ever even step foot in these libraries right now.
You've been spending a lot of time reporting on this. What do you want to leave people with? What are the takeaways, and how can people watch your reporting?
I think one of the major takeaways right now is that we're hearing a lot of politicians talk about parental rights, because that's driving what's behind a lot of this fear that drag performances are inappropriate for children, and that parents have the rights to reach out to libraries and to cancel these performances, to keep certain people from coming to schools for events. And I think it's important to listen to those parents' voices, but also remember that there are parents of LGBTQ children, parents who are LGBTQ, and they have other opinions on these matters. And when you talk about parental rights, you have to remember all parents have a seat at the table, and we've tried to do that in this story.
Because they're worried their rights are being infringed upon to be able to talk about their lives.
That's what we're hearing.
All right, Antonia, thank you so much. And to reiterate, you can stream the full episode of Meet the Press Reports Anti-Drag Movement anytime on the Peacock app and YouTube. Antonia, thank you as always for your report.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.